in TV news. Documentary research under the magnifying glass. Inflation soars and sources are revealed. What do I do to get documentary research? The strengths and weaknesses of the DR team for the next international championship. Tips to be a good documentary researcher.
Director Jenny Avendaño. Presenters Jenny Avendaño and Zoraida Morán.
Good afternoon, our dear viewers. Today we are loaded with relevant information, but what is happening? The well-known documentary research is under the prosecutor's sign. We have gathering some definitions from famous expertises in the topic.
The first one is Baena, who said that documentary research is a technique that consists of a selection and collection of information through reading and critique by bibliographic documents and materials. Interesting, isn't it?
The second one is Garza, who mentioned that DR is characterized by the predominant use of graphic and sound, recording as sources as information.
And finally, according to Franklin, documentary research must select and analyze specific data related to a specific topic.
But what about the research purpose? Well, it is said that the purpose of this research is to create a large story of report, which you can obtain through an evaluation of a set of documents in order to generate new ideas about a specific topic.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's move on economic indicators. Documents are on the rise. Documents are records of events of something that has happened, thus providing information. They must be captured on paper, on magnetic or electronic media. For that reason, books, magazines, researches, reports are increasing their value in the stock market.
The information has increased in value by 0.5% since yesterday. This content gives him numbers, data, comments, or opinions found in documents, regardless of the type of support. This is why it has started to rise on the IPO market.
Yes, that's right. In here, we know that there are three essential sectors that have protested or that have started to protest against price increases: primary, secondary, tertiary. But what do those sources mean? Well, let's start. First, primary source are those documents that provide first-hand information. Of course, they are protesting the cost of the paper. But let's continue.
And secondary sources, which provide data on how and where to find primary documents, and tertiary source, which deal with works covering various subjects such as encyclopedias and atlases, have begun to see their productivity capacity diminished by the increase in primary sources.
welcome to politics. Let's talk about the bill that Congress is discussing to establish specific stages to get a documentary research. Let's start. Number one, planning. It refers to the choice of a topic, to create a timeline, to create a hypothesis, or better, to formulate a hypothesis. Number two, collection and selection of information, essays, articles, books, records, everything related to the topic, to a specific topic. Number three, analysis and interpretation of information. It means that it's essential to read in a detail in order to organize, in order to compare the information in a critical way. And finally, number four, reading and presentation of the research paper. This is the final stage, says the Congress, and in this part it's very important to take care of the grammar, but also of the language that author is going to use in order to show his or her results of the documentary research. That's all.
The DEAR team is facing the Action Research team for the World Championship for the best research method. Let's see what are the advantages of our team.
First one is that data is available all the time, so there are several resources to search. The second one is that this investigation is very cheap and economical, so researchers doesn't need too much time or too much money to gather ideas, information, or data.
Third, there are no prejudice in our team. In other types of research, there is usually a bias, as it occurs for various reasons, gender, age, etc. But by having so many sources of information, this bias is reduced.
Fourth, the research is not required in the data because the data is collected from resources.
Now, let's move on to the disadvantages of our team.
First one, there is restricted data, especially if you need testing theories. Second one, there are inaccuracies. In other words, sometimes the information is very, very old. So it is not possible to know if it is accurate or not.
Third, data may be out of context. This is because the purpose of the research may not be aligned with the source of the information.
The last but not the least, we have a gossip concerning the researcher's role. So keep in mind, if you want to be a documentary research, you need to be a very critical and objective person to reflect systematically about empirical and theoretical realities. Of course, in order to present information or data related to a specific topic. Don't forget it.
Now let's listen to some chronicles of documentary research. We have the case of monographs, which is an in-depth study of a subject. This research has started to grow in her small company and is now on the internet. And there is also essay, which are augmentative studies. His little enterprise has paid off lately.
There is a report that is a summary of partial research. Finally, there are statistics and memories. The first one, statistics, it's a review of information in graphs, numerical information, interpretation of the data, you know. The second one, memories, it's a synthesis, like a synthesis of activities carried out in a specific period. Both of them have generated a lot of millions thanks to their startup writings.
That is all for today. Remember, we are Channel 1 TV News.
Because with us, you get clear and overall concise information. Don't forget it. Thank you very much, and we will see you in the next broadcast.